Hello, Taurus. Clear out your energy, child. We got some Palo Santo burning. Okay. I have a lavender. I chose lavender for you, Taurus. Not cinnamon. I got a quartz. Okay. A quartz geode here that I just got. Right? Very light energy. Love it. I feel this, and sometimes I just use this on its own because I usually like to use a combination of stones. There are very few stones that I would just use on their own because I like to layer it up. I mean, I will, but anyway, Taurus, I'm sorry. Uranus, the planet that is in its fall in your sign, right? Is it your sign? Is it shaking things up? Or is there radical change going on? Are there things that you feel like, are maybe like challenging you or shaking you in a way? What's happening there? And do you know any Scorpios? Because Scorpio, in their house of relationships, they're having to rethink their relationships, right? Business-wise, one-on-one, how they relate to institutions, groups of people, right? How they relate to themselves, how they relate to you, definitely. Yeah, Taurus, Scorpio energy. And then when we go into this Mercury retrograde, the Mercury retrograde is going to be in your house of relationships, Taurus, especially if you're a Taurus rising. Okay. Your 11th house, Neptune is there. All right, so let me go ahead and cut the deck. And then I'm going to do, classic. Bam, bam, bam. Happy Halloween, you guys. I'm still trying to determine what I'm going to be doing. Happy Halloween. Still trying to determine what I'm going to be doing. Right. This is very interesting. This is a great card for you. You know what I mean? Because it's related to the Empress, which is Venus, which is you. All of the threes refer back to the Empress. And this is like 3 Empresses. That's multiplicity on top of multiplicity, right? Something more coming from something existing, right? Something that already had what it took. Something that was already, what it wanted to be. You know what I mean? This is also, this is Mercury in Cancer. And Mercury is a planet that likes to move fast and it likes to make connections. And, Cancer likes to make emotional connections, right? And it's a very receptive energy. So it's really connecting with others, right? Because it's a 3. So it's talking about communication. It's talking about understanding, right? Thinking that friends are important right now. I'm also getting that, playful energy, right? Optimism and happiness, right? Referring to that, the Empress, there's creativity here as well. So you might need to express your creativity, on paper. Write some things down, maybe, your ideas, right? Because the 3rd house is talking about ideas. And these are talking about, fruitful ideas, right? So you've got your mind on some fruitful ideas, okay? Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Or if you have Sun in your 2nd house, right? This is also a Cancer card. So when we think about Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Cancer is your 3rd house, right? And this is like not feeling emotionally complacent. This is like feeling like you're ready to get out there and sort of like be active amongst your friends, right? Halloween is coming, right? And then we have, and this is definitely Halloween energy because it's talking about, the 3s. That's kind of like children, childlike energy, right? Having fun and just kind of like not taking yourself too seriously, right? Because the 3rd house doesn't take itself too seriously, right? But sometimes Cancer can take things seriously, right? And Cancer is ruled by the moon. And esoterically, I believe that Cancer is ruled by Neptune. You know what I mean? And that's talking about imagination, right? It's also talking about, creativity for sure. You guys could be, situations with your mother, Taurus. There could be communications with the mother. There could be having good times with the mother, right? Expressions, sharing, right? Because the Venus and the 3s do want to share something, right? So there's that. Children, spending Halloween with your children. Halloween parties with the children, some of you guys, right? That's great. Chaperone Halloween parties with the kids. Anyway, let's look at your first card, which is what's going on right now. That's you. Wow. Ace of Cups. This is really good. This is receptivity. Reverted, going back to the Three of Cups, right? This is also Mercury, right? Because it's the idea of a feeling, right? Okay, it's the initiation of a feeling, right? This could be overwhelmed by a feeling, right? Okay, this could be somebody igniting a feeling, right? You could also be just kind of like cleansing yourself of the past, right? And allowing yourself to be, very involved in the moment right now, having fun, right? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to be in the moment right now. What can I get out of the moment now that is making me feel emotionally fulfilled? The moment. You are the moment. Okay? Don't be waiting for the moment. You're the moment. Okay? Because this is talking about waiting too. Waiting for the moment to celebrate. Waiting for the moment to feel good. Waiting for the moment to have fun. You're the moment, honey. Okay? And this is the third house, so that's Mercury, and that's Gemini. So some of you could be dealing with the Gemini, you could be dealing with the Cancer, you could be dealing with a Taurus, okay? Or you could be dealing with an Aries, right? Anyway, the Ace of Cups, that's wonderful. It's an opportunity, right? It's definitely giving you a chance, right? A chance on love. Some of you guys might be taking a chance on love, or this could be an offering of love in some way, shape, or form, right? It could be with somebody that you're not dating, or it could be with somebody that you're dating that you're going to be, getting more serious with, right? Okay, so let me look at the immediate influence, okay, and the challenge. That's the Queen of Cups. More love, more cups, more water, okay? The Queen of Cups is Cancer energy, and she's cardinal, and she initiates feelings, or feelings are initiated, right? This is your subconscious. So your subconscious is definitely speaking to you, Cancer, a lot about what it is that you might want to be doing, or what choices you might want to make, or how something might be affecting you or changing your environment, right? You could be just kind of like all in with something. You know what I mean? Because the Queen of Cups is all in with how she feels. The Ace of Cups is definitely, making things very apparent and how it feels. And then the Three of Cups, they're definitely sharing. There's reciprocity here. You know what I mean? Communication, feeling good, celebration, that type of thing. Fruitfulness, right? There's abundance that's here that's being waiting. You're waiting for the abundance, right? Okay. So now let's go ahead and look at, so who's the person that's influencing this new feeling? This Queen of Cups feeling, Taurus. Is it a Cancer? Is it a Pisces? Is it a Scorpio? And this could be a Scorpio, right? Energy. But I feel like it's lighter. I feel like it's not even as deep as the Scorpio energy, because you got the Three of Cups, and then you got the Ace of Cups, okay? And then you got the Queen of Cups, which is just putting the stamp on it. There's the three again. Three Cups cards to start it out. Something's happening. Something's turning over. Something's moving forward, right? Something's changing, because the third house is Mercury. It's movement, right? Activity, right? You may be planning a party, or you might even be planning an event that you hold close or dear to you. You know what I mean? And you might be feeling like you've put so much energy and so much effort into this thing, and now here it is all wrapped up for you to see, right? And now you're like, I hope they like this, right? Or I hope they're into this. Or like, I hope this is, pleasurable, right? Because the Queen of Cups definitely likes to feel pleasure within her emotional process, okay? And she definitely has something to express. And when she expresses that thing, it brings her pleasure to know that other people understand what she is saying and what she is feeling and what she is thinking based on what she is saying, how she's feeling. He, them, they, anybody, okay? Doesn't matter. I'm a Cancer moon. So this is definitely my card, being that this is a water card. The queens are all water and cardinal. And it's a cup. Okay. So now let's look at the sun position. Actually, are we looking at that? We're looking at the past. Wow. Okay, so this is a wish, right? For something to change, because it's the star card, right? It's the wish card. It's also talking about getting settled within your own mind and your own head, cleansing yourself of anything that might have come in and obstructed the way that you saw yourself. You know what I mean? Right? because this is talking about confidence just the same as the strength card is, right? But this is inner confidence. This isn't confidence that's being shown outwardly, right? It will, but you got to work on it on the inside too. And we do know that Uranus, the planet that rules Aquarius, is in your sign right now. So this is shaking things up and making you take a look at some things inwardly, inner, look inside, right? Contemplation, right? Your perspective is being shaped and changed. You're looking at things in a different way. You're cleansing yourself of old energy, perhaps. You know what I mean? Because Aquarius does want to share within an experience, but it also wants to have its own experience, right? And this is kind of like you having your own experience, right? Realizing that you are affected by your experience. Yes? You know, this is innovation as well, change, creativity, for real, right? And this is kind of like, you know, you can, these birds, the ibis, this red bird right here, these birds are found, you know, along the Nile River. So if any of you have any, you know, connection to the Nile, or maybe some of you are maybe African descendants of, you know, near that region, you know, the Nile. I know it's a very long river. Was, is. But, you know, anyway, this is definitely talking about your own self-confidence, you know what I mean, and the belief in oneself. You know, we are conditioned and we are affected by all of the things that we allow ourselves to experience. So we definitely have to experience ourselves in an environment and in the moment, right? Because I did talk about that. You are the moment, in the moment, be the moment, right? And you have to take your moment, right? And step outside, step from the outside and step inside, right? This is intimacy with one's own mental process, right? Understanding how things sort of work, you know, for you without the affectations, right? Or the influence of others, okay? That's what we're talking about. And sometimes Taurus really does live on the influence of others, because when we think about the Hierophant, that card is talking about, you know, institutions and ways that we believe that things just are. You know what I mean? And sometimes we need to also question the way things are, actually question who we are within the places that we allow ourselves to, you know, dwell. You know what I mean? Anyway. But Taurus is definitely a dweller because it's the Taurus, it's the cow. You know what I mean? They're definitely free cows, right? They're just kind of like roam along the pastures, but most cows are usually fenced in, right? And they're comfortable and they're grazing and they're eating and things are good. That's why it's Venus, it's pleasure, right? It's the abundance that's around us that makes the Taurus feel comfortable. And I was thinking about this yesterday about Taurus, and maybe I was pulling in your energy because it was raining and I got on the train and I was like, oh wow, that girl has like it's an actual raincoat. It's in a very specific color. It's like hot pink, fuchsia, whatever it was. And I was like, wow, she really thought about that. And then I was like, that's very Taurus. And I was like, maybe she could have done something else with that money, but she was like, no, I want this raincoat, and this is a very fashionable one. And then she just had it after that. I was like, okay, Taurus, I get you. You know what I mean? Security, having what you need, getting what you need before you actually need it. Okay. My mother is a Taurus. I'm sure she has things in her home right now that still have tags on them in the closet. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at your sun position, Taurus. Wow. All right, so there are two queens here. Okay, so in your sun position, you got the Queen of Pentacles. So you could be dealing with a Capricorn, right? Or that placement for you could be very active right now, right? The two planets that were in Capricorn were retrograde, Saturn and Pluto, and now they're direct right now. So that is trining the energy of Uranus, talking about change. Pluto, talking about change. You guys could be thinking about changing your home, or you guys could be thinking about doing some things to your home. You know, you could even be thinking about business things, right? You know, starting your own business, perhaps. Issues related to your business, right? This is also sort of like putting yourself out there for others a lot, right? Doing it yourself too. You know, it's kind of like raising your hand to do the work because you don't want anyone else to do the work. because you want to make sure that the quality assurance is there or something like that. You know what I mean? Because the Queen of Pentacles is definitely talking about quality. Okay. And so is the King. Sorry. But the Queen of Pentacles is also 1/3 of the sign that comes before her. And what comes before Capricorn is Sagittarius. And that's talking about going the distance. So in a deeper way, she does want to go the distance, right? That's why she's doing all the things for everybody, right? And this could be talking about overextending yourself, Taurus. So you might be overextending yourself, you know what I mean? Right? The application of something. You're overextending yourself through the application of something, right? Or doing something, the effort, right? It's kind of like what's left for you, or what are you getting out of something? You might put a lot of work into something, and the benefit that you get out of it may not be everything that you wanted. But we are still talking about you focusing on your business right now, because it is in the sun position, okay? Let's look at the moon position. This is very interesting, Taurus. Wow. You saw me shuffle the cards, so I didn't see them before I put them up for you guys. We talked about them. Bam. And you see that crescent moon there? That's because the moon is exalted in your sign. And while we talk about Taurus still having tags on shit, Taurus knows what it's like to be kind, to let other people feel good or secure within something, within an environment. Like the Taurus will be able to take someone and bring them into their space and make them feel safe, feed them, comfort them, that type of thing. It likes to share within the experience of the pleasure for sure. You know, because Taurus isn't necessarily a loner, right? They can be because they're fixed. Because a lot of the fixed signs can be looked at as loners, kind of. I think. And, you know, the Hierophant is really talking about, you know, the evolution of the experience, right? Of the dwelling, right? What have I been dwelling on, right? What have I not been asking myself? How I feel about certain things, you know? Am I still in the same place that I was when I started? You know what I mean? Do I feel safe within this emotional process, or do I feel safe within this feeling? What are my questions trying to unlock for me? What am I asking which is really me asking myself? You know what I mean? Because this is also talking about the self being that it's a 5. It's related to the 5th house, which is Leo. So some of you guys could be dealing with a Leo, you know what I mean? Or you might be having some opposition with another Taurus, which is weird. But it's Capricorn and Taurus are definitely very prevalent here, and so is the Star card, okay? From the past. So this is a wish or something that you wanted, right? Something that you felt like maybe you even deserved, right? Based on, you know, what you put into something. You know what I mean? Perhaps. You might even be wanting to kind of like start something over. Anyway, that was just me channeling. The Hierophant right here is saying that, you know, you are the one that determines what your experience is, right? You are the one. That's why I kept saying you are the moment. The 5s, the 5th house, Leo, they understand they are the moment. This Star card is saying you need to find your own moments to kind of like clear things out. Understand what it is that you are being taught, right? Through your experience of dwelling, through your experience of having people around you that might be taking your energy, right? You know? Anyway, let's continue. I'm going to flip over your anxieties, which are related to the Hierophant. But I could go in on the Hierophant card, you know what I mean? Another 3. Here we go with Empress energy again, right? The waiting. You're waiting for something. So you have anxieties because you're waiting for something to come back to you. Information, right? Or it could be like the actions, right? You may have anxieties because you're choosing to turn your back on someone because of their actions, right? perhaps for some of you. But then this is also an expectation, right? Because it's a 3, so it's waiting for something, right? Expectantly. So you're expecting something, but you have anxieties on that thing, right? Because you feel like you want to get what you deserve, right? This is also Sun in Aries, which is an exaltation, right? The belief in oneself, the understanding that, who you are cannot be changed. You know what I mean? There are some things that people cannot take away from you, right? Your charisma, right? You know what I mean? Just who you are. Because this is talking about understanding who you are, right? And getting more out of that understanding of who you are. Because when you really believe in yourself, because this is really believing in yourself, you know what I mean? The Sun in Aries, okay? You're believing in yourself, and you're trying to get somewhere with that belief in yourself, right? Because this is a 3, so it's related to the 3rd house, which is Mercury, and Mercury is getting around, making connections, networking, trying to get from one place to another, spreading those messages, you know what I mean? Because Mercury was the messenger of the gods to the gods, right? So this is very spiritual with these 3s being here, right? And then the Hierophant is a religious card. So it really is talking about you believing in what you see in front of you. Because this is a reflection. Queen of Cups, this is a reflection. Ace of Cups, this is very individual, self-reflection, right? The Star card, self-reflection, right? Bringing energy and focus to the self-worth, right? Not just being, second to your experience, right? Your experience doesn't come before you. It's you and then your experience, okay? So you have to understand that you are the one that is here having this experience, right? And you have to understand when you need to add things and take things away. That's what multiplicity is as well, right? Okay? Numbers 3, okay? That's the first number that brings things into form. Okay? It's my favorite number. Okay, so let's look at the Mars position, right? We already have some Mars energy here because we got Sun in Aries, right? Right before. That's the anxieties. Child, do you, Taurus? You're amazing. You know that, right? Wow, Mars. What's going on? Some of you might be experiencing some transformative energy that might be really challenging you, right? You might be feeling powerful in your aggression towards something that is challenging you and you see that it's going to end, right? Or it could be that some of you might be experiencing a death within the family, or it could be that you might just be dealing with someone that's experiencing a death or the aftermath of that. You know what I mean? It could be that as well. But you did get the Death card in the Mars position. It's a 4, so it's related to the Empress. It's a 4, so it's related to the Emperor. Okay? And then there's a Scythe here. You know what I mean? So this is talking about, that's related to like wounded healer, Chiron, that type of thing, So it's kind of like you guys might be having some sort of aggression towards something. And, the Death card is Scorpio and the Star card is actually Aquarius, right? And Uranus is actually exalted in Scorpio, right? And Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius, and it's in your sign right now. So you really are being called to change something, right? And it's funny, I was like, Mars, this is the Death card, right? Mars rules Scorpio, and Pluto is the higher octane of Mars, right? Push, right? Drinking. Somebody could be drinking, you know what I mean? Fighting, drinking and fighting, right? The worst. You know, but this is saying that the sun will rise again after this death, or after this truce, or after this thing, because this is you making a truce with something that you couldn't control, right? Or something that you couldn't make the way you wanted it to be. It might have not even needed to be anything for you, right? Because this is I am and to be and I can and create. You know what I mean? And this is like kind of like destruction, right? But Pluto is exalted where the sun lives, okay? But this is squaring energy. There's some squaring energy here too. So there's some tensions that are happening. And there could be tensions with a boss for some of you, and you need things to sort of shift or change, because the fours are also talking about authority, right? And some of you may not have the power against the authority that you're being that you're up against. You know what I mean? Or you both might have authority. You know, I'm kind of bouncing around, but I'm giving you more, you know, because the death card is an authority card. Hello. It's very ultimate, you know. But you could definitely be healing from something that you felt like was ultimately what might have been holding you back in some ways, because you hadn't let go of it yet, right? And now you're healing from it, right? And you're realizing you're giving in, because the death card does want you to give in to something. It's saying you're giving in to something. You know what I mean? To something. And for good, for good, right? For good. Giving up something for good. Some of you are giving into something for good. Some of you are cutting people off for good, right? Some of you are changing something for good, right? Could be I'm moving for good, you know. Anyway, let's look at your Venus position. Scorpio, I'm living. Knight of Rods. Okay, so this is, you know, this is where your pleasure, this is like your pleasure position. And this is quite the card to be getting in this position. This is a Sagittarius card, and it's double fire. So this is a lot of energy, right? A lot of acceleration. Okay, so this is a car, right? Some of you might have even had sex in a car or something, or did something in a car. And then the Knight of Rods is also, you know, the Chariot. You know, so this is movement forward in a relationship for some of you. Some of you might have been in a relationship that moved quite quickly, or you might be feeling the evolution of a relationship change drastically, quickly, but it's just out of the action, right? Of the thing that happens that makes it go from this place to that place. Because you could be moving in with somebody, right? Or you could be getting engaged to somebody, right? Or you could be like, going on a trip or traveling with somebody, you know what I mean? And that definitely says something, because when you travel with somebody that you're sort of like dating, that sort of elevates, right? It sort of expands the relationship. It grows. So this is also talking about the growth in a relationship. You might even be a little intimidated by the growth of it, right? But it's fire, so it's passion. So it's passion's growing, right, within a relationship that are moving things forward for some of you, right? This isn't everybody, because some people aren't even in a relationship. Some people are single. So this could just be you being intimidated by the actions, right? Or by somebody coming on too strong. So, you know, Venus is also kind of like, you know, flirtatious, you know, energy, that type of thing as well, right? So you guys, some of you could have been a little overwhelmed or intimidated by someone's like, you know, how someone coming on strong, because the Knight of Rods comes on strong. You know what I mean? Very effective, though, I would say, being double action. All right, honey, Sagittarius. So some of y'all are dealing with that, or it might even be a Scorpio, because the court cards are 1/3 of the sign that come before them, and this is Sag, and what comes before Sag? Scorpio, right? And you just got the Death card, and you know Taurus always be doing something with Scorpio. I told y'all my mom's married to a Scorpio. She's a Taurus. Yeah, so this is a lot of energy moving forward with something or with someone, right? You have a lot of court cards here so far. I mean, you have 3. To me, that's plenty. All right. Yeah, somebody could be introducing you to someone, right? Some of you Tauruses, Taurians. And if some of you are resenting a Sagittarius for some reason, then maybe you don't, maybe you should cleanse yourself of that and understanding what that Sagittarius was probably meant to teach you in the relationship, right? Or what did you get out of that relationship from being with that Sagittarius, right? Or Scorpio. Thank you for the like. I really appreciate you guys for watching. I love doing this. Something's fruitful for you. Okay, you're a very fruitful sign. And that could also be like pregnancy or something like that. Or just something coming out, something being created, right? It doesn't have to be the life of a baby or person. It could be like, you know, giving birth to something new within something that already exists, which is wonderful. Energy moving forward in the outcome. Okay, peace. A truce. Right? Well, peace, right? It's also understanding, right? Reflecting on your thoughts. Reflecting on your thoughts for sure. And now the moon is growing. It's in a 3/4 moon phase right now in Aquarius, right? And this is very Aquarian here because look, Aquarius is the 11th house. I be trying to tell y'all, and Aquarius trines Libra, okay? Aquarius is friendships, Libra is relationships, relationships with friendships, choosing, right? Not letting your friends influence you too much with your making your decisions, right? And also the people that you're in relationships with too, because whatever choice you're making is your choice. It's your decision to make, right? You're gathering the information that is going to shape your perspective so that you can make a justified, right, decision. There's some emotion here because it's kind of like with making this decision, you know, that you're going to have a reaction, you know, a response, right? Internally, because it's also related to the High Priestess card. Check it out again. Okay, definitely, right? So that's talking about sensitivities in making a choice, feeling insecure in a decision, in making a decision, undetermined, right? Haven't made it yet. Okay, because you really can't fight with two. You can if you're that fierce, but you need one hand free, right? You can only really have one sword, right? So you got to choose one, right? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Pisces, Taurus, okay? Decisions with those or surrounding those signs or with people having those signs, or this could even talk about work because work, second house, Taurus, earn income, okay? Right? That's for sure. Home, okay? Because Taurus is within their environment, right? Home. Okay, the moon is very influential in Taurus, right? And being that it's the second house that's ruled by Venus, right? Which Libra is ruled by Venus as well. And here we go with the moon in Libra being the Two of Swords. What? Honey. Right. Right, you're trying to make the right decision because you're like, I want to do what's right for me, for real. Okay, you will. You definitely will. Because you're coming through with this. Okay, and this is very a self card. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at your future card here, Taurus. Wow, I just talked about this card. You're trying to justify your decisions. And the Justice card is talking about making decisions, honey. Right? The sun is in this sign right now, and fellow Venus. Venus is ruling this time that we're in right now. You know, right? I love it. This is truth. This is honesty. Being honest with yourself and being honest with others. Okay? Because Libra does really want to be honest with themselves and others as well. right? And that's why you can be on the fence sometimes with that Justice card energy, because you're like, yeah, I'm saying that and I'm just being honest with me, but I also want to be honest with you. But don't be upset with me for being honest with you, because that's what you wanted, right? You didn't want me to not be. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, what? And that's why we be like this sometimes with this. So you're giving a lot of Libra energy with with the Justice card here and the Two of Swords, because, right? But the Justice card, number 11, sensitivities in making that choice. Yeah, you indecisive about something, really, Taurus, right? It could be moving, it could be job related, it could be like something that's going to bring you pleasure. This could even be traveling, right? So now we're going deeper into it, because the twos, right? High Priestess, Pisces energy, right? Jupiter being a co-ruler, okay, right? Movement, change, going from here to there, right? There could be some stress in terms of the decision, right? Because the scale is under a lot of stress when it's trying to determine something. You see what I mean? And it can be emotional, right? Libra's the seventh house. That refers back to the seven, which is the Chariot card. You are very well welcome, sweetheart. It is well deserved. Oh, thank you. And this is kind of like being ready for the truth, being ready. It's almost kind of like the truth will set you free too, because this person wants freedom, right? The eyes being revealed will definitely give them a sense of freedom, okay, and expansion, right? And Jupiter is expansion, right? Because you could be expanding your mind, right? You could be gathering the information. That's what this is. I'm gathering the information, calculating. I calculated after I've gathered the information and the decision has been made. We're leaning to one side here, right? That's a vote. Okay? But you could be dealing with some sort of like law thing, right? It could be processing something on paper. It could be getting through a process with people that are officials, right? And they being helpful with you determining what it is that you're going to come out getting or having or owing after the end, when we come to the end of this. You know what I mean? Right? This is what we've determined. This is what I've determined, right? Or this is what has happened. Because now that we know that this is what has happened, oh, that's different than what was before, because we were trying to figure it out. And now that we figured it out, now we can respond to that thing. Okay? Because it is talking about your response to something as well. Right? And your perspective, right? Because the response is according to how you see it. Right? But what is your perspective? What is your take? What are you understanding? What have you discovered? Right? What have you evolved into thinking or believing now? Because the second house is Taurus, and that is talking about belief systems, and that is in the moon position, which is talking about evolving into now beliefs in what? Myself and the institution, right? What I'm being told, what I think I know. You know what I mean? Because the fives are talking about things just kind of like being in the middle. You're always going to be in the middle as long as you're right here. As long as you're on YouTube listening to me talk to you and you going outside and going to work, you're in the middle. You're in the midst. You're in the moment. Right? So you're going to be challenged. There's going to be things that you're going to have to figure out. You're going to have to make choices. You're going to have to believe in yourself all over again on another different day. Right? With different people in a different job. Right? If you change jobs, you're definitely going to know that you're going to feel uncomfortable when you get there at first. There are going to be some insecurities. You know what I mean? If you move to a different neighborhood or a different house, you're going to feel like, a little unsettled. So things are always going to seem unsettling or unsettled. That's why Libra is always trying to get balance, because things are always going to affect you. You're always going to have to respond to changes and challenges and fluctuations, because you are affected, right? We are. All the other watchers need to take that blindfold off and show some love also. You are so funny. Okay, I liked that. But like I was saying, Aquarius is the 11th house. Pisces is the High Priestess card, which also looks like an 11, right? Here we go with that. The Justice card is the 11th card. We're talking about perspective, and we're also talking about how you're affected, because Aquarius talks about how you're affected by everything and how you're connected to everything, right? Libra talks about, whoa, how I'm affected here. Pisces is talking about, well, I'm affected too, because like emotionally, I have a feeling every time this something happens, right? And Cardinal, Cancer is squaring Libra, right? So it is also experiencing some things like that too, where it's always being emotionally affected. You have Cancer here, Three of Cups. You have Cancer here, a Queen of Cups. You also have it here in the Ace of Cups, right? Because it is the first water sign. So, you know, you're just feeling a lot, right? And sometimes Taurus, like, when they feel and they react or respond, like Taurus' initial response is to sort of speak from this throat. You know what I mean? Oh, it's interesting because it's kind of Sag too. Because Sag is going, but they're communicators too, right? And they are very religious in a way, right? They can be sort of dogmatic, but they like to express and explain the religion and the philosophy surrounding that or within a belief system. They like to explain that. All right. We're listening to Men I Trust. Okay, so the last card, and this is your ascendant card, where we're stepping into what's being projected, what we are hoping to get moved towards or realize, right? Yeah. You have like four core cards, so there's a lot of people involved here. But at the top, you got it, right? I made my decision, right? With this, bam! Look at these cards. Okay, outcome, right? I'm making a decision, calculating. Future, it's been made. Okay, ascension, stepping into, honey. Bam, the self, right? If you were questioning that self, right here, okay, thinking about it, what am I questioning? What am I thinking about? Okay, now I know what I did all that thinking, all that processing. Here I am. I'm water and I'm fire, but I'm also cardinal, okay, because I'm Aries, right? But Aries is the sun, right? Is Mars, right? But the sun is exalted in Aries, and Pluto is a co-ruler, and Pluto is exalted in Leo. So you could be dealing with the Leo, or you could be feeling like that. You know what I mean? Defending yourself, right? Defending your choices, defending your actions, because the Queen of Rods definitely defends her actions, and her actions are based on the thought process that she had before she took the action, unless she just took the action. But that comes from a place of believing in oneself. So there's already the mental process that already took place before that, because it was the belief in oneself that made you take the action, right? I think. You know, this was good, Taurus, honey. Somebody told me to do it. Thank you for telling me to do Taurus next. And I know which sign I'm going to do after Taurus is going to be Gemini. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Providence Tarot. I am also NYC Kendrick. There you will see like dance, and you'll see like my fitness stuff, and just kind of like my fun personality and what I want to put up. Also, you know, And then, you know, my Kendrick NYC account used to be my tarot kind of account before Providence Tarot came around. So that's transforming into like, you know, different images that I see as I go around the streets of New York City. Okay. And these are like on my way to do readings and on my way to do the videos that I do for you guys. So I put that on Kendrick NYC, and you just get to see like all of the different places that I frequent. You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily all institutions or establishments or businesses. It's kind of like the streets and the corners and the things that I pass regularly. Okay, so you kind of get to see like the city through my eyes on Kendrick NYC. And the tongue pop is my food account. Visually, it you know, it's stunning, I would say, just because the colors pop, and I make it to look like that. You know what I mean? So you can follow that account as well. If you'd like to get a reading with me, most importantly, email providencetarot@gmail.com. Thanks to all of those of you who have booked with me. Those were fun readings and they were very insightful. Yes, I read on Sundays at Shanti Bookshop and Crystal Gallery in New York City, and that address is 230 East 14th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenues near Union Square in the NYU area. So it's very hip, it's very cool, and I don't really even like using those words, but it's very now, I will say, that area, okay? Because it's right by NYU, and it's just kind of like, to the brim with NYU students. Okay. I love you, Taurus. You know I live. Bye.